Anyway, someone sent me this story. He writes, "Today, I'm going to share a terrifying experience from my life, an event that left me mentally so shattered that for a whole year I lived in constant terror. It was so bad that I couldn't even go to the washroom without someone standing guard beside me. I've seen many people on Poot FM complain about not seeing anything supernatural, acting as if it's a disappointment. But after what my family and I went through, I realized that these things aren't as fun as they seem. They are truly horrific. Let me get to the main story. This happened during my childhood, back when I was in school. My father had a government job that required frequent transfers. He was a doctor. The time I'm talking about is around 1987 or 88. My father was transferred to Thakurgaon. The main hospital in Thakurgaon had just shifted to a new building near the bus stand. However, the doctor's quarters weren't finished yet. To save on rent, many doctors decided to live in the old hospital buildings. The old hospital was located next to the court, set within a massive campus built during the British era. Apart from century-old jackfruit trees, the campus housed 2 abandoned ambulances we used to play in, and a morgue. We excitedly moved into a building that used to be a patient ward. After moving in, many neighbors told my mother, "You have small children. It would have been better not to move into this old hospital building." But they never clearly explained why. I was a very mischievous child, except for school hours. We spent all our time playing outside. The massive campus of the old hospital became our playground. The abandoned buildings felt like they were made for hide and seek. We even found a shortcut through a small jungle behind the hospital to get to the Tangan River. Fear was a concept unknown to us. The trouble started suddenly. My elder brother and I began having strange dreams at night. It started happening frequently. My brother couldn't remember his dreams, but he would groan and scream in his sleep, exactly like someone suffering from sleep paralysis. Then, something else started happening. He began sleepwalking. The most shocking part was twice. He opened the main door in his sleep and walked out. My father found him sleeping under a jackfruit tree far from the house at dawn. After that, my mother started locking the door from the inside every night. My dreams were even stranger. I could remember them clearly. They were vivid, lifelike. In my dream, I saw my room change. It felt like time had gone back 50 or 60 years. My furniture was gone, replaced by rows of patient beds. Most of the beds were occupied by patients, some groaning in pain, others in deep sleep. In one dream, I sat up to see what was happening. Suddenly, someone said, "Baby, the baby is awake. Let's give the medicine dose." I looked back to see a nurse, a sister. She wore a clean white uniform and had a kind face. She brought a trolley in front of me. I watched, frozen, as she carefully broke a medicine ampule, filled a glass syringe, and grabbed my hand. At that moment, I realized something terrible was about to happen. I tried to pull my hand away. I screamed, "Let me go! Let me go!" I woke up to my brother shaking me, saying, "What happened? A bad dream? Go wash your face. You'll feel better." I went to the bathroom. As I scooped water to wash my face, my eyes fell on my arm, on the opposite side of my elbow, right where injections are given. There were clear marks of 5 fingers, gripping hard, with clotted blood. The next morning, I told my parents and showed them the mark. They were shocked and scared. But to comfort us, they said I must have scratched myself in my sleep. However, my mother got 2 amulets for us and tied them to our arms. The main incident happened a few days later. We didn't have a refrigerator back then. The EPI office was still in the old building. UNICEF had donated some deep freezers, but they were lying unused. The doctors decided to install one for personal use before Eid. To us kids, a fridge meant ice cream. It was a huge excitement. The mechanic took until 11 p.m. to install it. It was the night before Eid. We went to the EPI office with ingredients for ice cream. I was carrying a bowl of milk and sugar mixture my mother made. The office was quite far, and the path went past 2 large jackfruit trees and the morgue. My brother walked ahead quickly with his bowl, but I was walking slowly, careful not to spill the milk. A little distance from the house, my eyes got stuck on one of the large jackfruit trees. What I saw froze my blood. That is when I understood what true terror feels like. I saw that same nurse from my dream stepping out from behind the tree. I couldn't move. Like a hypnotized person, I watched as she signaled me to come to her. In the dark, her body seemed to emit a faint bluish glow. I don't know how long I stared. Suddenly, I snapped out of it. I screamed and ran towards the house. I collapsed in the courtyard and fainted. When I woke up, I was in my father's arms. I hugged him, terrified. I remember the other doctors coming to check on me that night. Even with a strong dose of sleeping pills, I couldn't close my eyes all night. The next day was Eid, but our joy was ruined. My phobia became so severe that my father took us to our grandfather's house in Dinajpur that very afternoon. A month later, my father took a transfer and we left Thakurgaon for good. My father was a man of modern science. He thought it was all in my mind. I had to drop a year of school. Later, he took me to a psychiatrist at Sadar Hospital in Dhaka. After long counseling sessions, I eventually recovered. I never saw that woman again. It would have been better if the story ended there. But recently I had to go to Thakurgaon. I thought I'd visit the places from my childhood. We had a friend named Mohidul who lived near the campus. Luckily, he was home. We went to see the old spots. Nostalgia took over as I visited that old hospital campus after 20 or 22 years. A lot had changed. I saw that the large jackfruit trees had been cut down to build new quarters. Jokingly, I pointed to the spot where the tree used to be and said to Mohidul, "They cut the tree? Do you remember what happened here?" He looked at me with a surprised face and said, "A year ago, when cutting that tree, they found an old skeleton underground. No one knew who it was or how it got there, but the doctors realized it was a female skeleton. Later, the locals buried the skeleton in the graveyard. I couldn't believe it, but it was true. On my way back, I felt a deep sadness. I felt like maybe that woman wanted to tell me what happened to her. Maybe she was murdered. Perhaps a restless soul, buried without a proper funeral, had sought my help for release. But I was too young to understand, and she had to suffer for another 20 years. This story was sent by Mohammad Arifur Rahman from Sylhet. He is a dentist by profession. An extraordinary incident, truly chilling.